Ladies and gentlemen, occasionally I have to be a little more mature and serious online. I would want to provide you all with another Diddy update. If anyone has been curious about the latest developments, this is for you. As you are all aware, he was given a 4-year prison sentence. In my opinion, I would not question his release after roughly 2 years of good behavior. Just letting you know. However, we received fresh reports and posts, and naturally, 50 Cent is taking a look. Please remember to hit like on the video. Let's just do it. Leave a comment with your thoughts. MSNBC.com reports during his sentencing hearing. Sean Combs spoke on himself rather than his victims. Sean Combs was the focus of his letter of remorse to the court that condemned him. He aspires to live his life in a manner that his victims might never experience. It states that U.S. District Judge Aaron sentenced Sean Diddy Combs to 50 months in prison, 5 years of supervised release, and a fine of $500 on Thursday, the day before. The music mogul sent the court a letter that was 4 pages long. In it, Combs writes, "My domestic violence will always be a heavy burden that I will have to forever carry." Expressing regret for the domestic abuse he performed on his ex-partner, Cassie Ventura, he urged the judge for mercy so that he could care for his loved ones, including his 84-year-old mother who recently underwent brain surgery and his 2-year-old daughter, even though he claims he could never forgive someone if they touched one of his daughters. It continues by saying that Holmes was convicted on 2 counts of transporting women, including Jane, who testified at the child's court, and venturing to engage in prostitution. He was found not guilty of 2 additional charges that carry longer sentences: trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. In his letter to the judge, Combs admits that he had been disoriented. He writes, "I literally lost my mind at one point." He blamed his drug use and selfishness for the suffering he caused women. He claimed to have been rehabilitated following almost a year of incarceration, imprisonment, etc. Combs is said to have sobbed in court on Friday. He begged for forgiveness, assured the judge that he would never use violence again, and so on. Correct? To be honest, based solely on the charges against him, I'm still surprised that it was only 4 years. For example, I find it surprising that he was found guilty of it based on the charges. In any case, this woman's discussion on Cassie is making her rather popular. Yes, have a look at this.
Cassie Ventura should be in jail. And honestly, I don't see why Diddy was in jail. If Diddy should have been in jail, it should have been for something like and Cassie. But it took me some time to come up with this video because I wanted to make sure that what I was seeing was correct. And I don't know if y'all saw the same thing, but based on testimonies, Cassie was pretty much the ringleader. Diddy was sitting in the background, having a good time, enjoying himself, watching Cassie do weird stuff. But realistically, they said Cassie gave them the money. Cassie contacted them. Cassie opened the door. So it's just kind of like Cassie was in the acts of doing things. I didn't hear not one person say they saw Diddy have anybody. It was literally just Cassie. So a lot of this testimony is on the hearsay of Cassie, who already got paid. Why is she back for more money? You know what I mean? Like, why is she back for this testimony when she already got paid? Her testimony should have been stricken from the books at that point because, again, she already, what did he pay her for? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I don't know what type of husband Cassie got. I mean, I think he's probably using her, but it takes a very strong white man to forgive the things that Cassie has done and says she has done. I mean, you would have to, I wouldn't even want to go to court to tell nobody the things that Cassie has done. If she got a husband and children who are eventually, I feel like Cassie is worse than Kim Kardashian. I'm sorry.
What?
She's been with hundreds and hundreds of people and 4 at a time for 36 hours. You know what I mean? Kim and them, they undercover little 304s. But Cassie she is so freaked out. I don't think that anyone could please that girl. I think that Cassie, is unpleasable because of all the experiences that she's had. But I digress. I really think that, like I said, if Diddy would have went to jail for anything, it should have been putting a pause on Cassie. I don't think it should have been for having a good time.
Dude, I'm not going to remain silent. I'm going to leave that on, period. All right, everyone, share your thoughts on that. Do you believe she is mistaken? Do you believe she is correct? You concur with her? That's all. I'm just saying that. I won't tell lies. I get a little frightened when I do these videos, dude. Like, I'm not sure. According to reports, O.J. Simpson's attorney has suddenly spoken out against Diddy, and he is going off. According to Fox News, the court heard from prosecutors that Diddy was already immediately arranging a public speaking engagement in another state before imposing a sentence. It claims that Diddy was slapped in the face by his desire to pursue business outside of the lawsuit and prior to his sentencing. I can't imagine anything more stupid than that, claims Allen, an attorney for O.J. Simpson and a Harvard law professor. How anybody permitted him to do it. The judge is simply being slapped in the face. It's ridiculous. I can't think of a single attorney or responsible person letting me drop the matter. He states, if I had been Diddy's lawyer and Diddy had said, I'm going to make an arrangement and I'm going to make it public. Yes, you're going to get a new lawyer. I would have replied, I don't represent someone who is that conceited and foolish. I mean, I'm not Dr. Kev Keen, he continued. I don't think I should lead my clients into a room. And that was death's kiss. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if I ruined his name. I hope you recognize the person I'm referring to. He is claiming to have been O.J. Simpson's lawyer. And he says, yo, that was just outrageous. And I know that Diddy was so upset that he broke down in tears and went to his knees in court. Furthermore, for years is certainly a considerable time, particularly in a jail setting. However, I find it hard to believe that he might have been a little happier after being found guilty of the charges against him. You simply assume that it would take much longer than 4 years. Additionally, as I mentioned, perhaps 2 years of good behavior. I won't lie. I honestly believed Diddy would be a little happier about that. However, it's possible that Diddy believed he would actually be released. Perhaps Diddy truly believed. Yo, I'm innocent. Man, I have no idea. Well, 50 Cent is no longer there. Yes, it is said that he sent the judge an email. Man, I have no idea. This is what he released. This is my letter to the judge on Diddy's case. 50 Cent tweeted, "What? Lol? I'm terrified for my life." He then declared, "Dear Judge, Puffy and I have been at odds for more than 20 years. He poses a serious threat. I have feared for my life several times. I believe that before releasing him to the public, you ought to think about their safety, Your Honor. Although he has attempted to teach a class there hasn't been enough time for him to change or adapt. As you are already aware, the government has invested the most money possible in the simultaneous deployment of federal agencies that resembled an army in 2 different sites." Afterwards, his son, who is currently facing his own accusations, asserted that the federal authorities had targeted the incorrect residents. In any case, Diddy will merely go back to increasing his workforce and keeping the majority of the baby oil wave. Dude, babies also require it. My Netflix dog on the controversy, dude. Bro, 50 is a troll. There's this thing about 50. I believe this man will take things seriously while simultaneously trolling the entire situation. I will admit, though, that 50 is funny. I mean, he's hilarious. It's just that this whole Diddy scenario is quite serious. I've expressed that before in my previous videos, man. The accusations I've heard against Diddy are the most outrageous I've ever heard in my life. You understand what I mean when I say that there are people who have reportedly seen that, who have allegedly claimed that, and who have claimed this. It's unlike anything I've ever heard. Anyway, that will be the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that was enjoyable to all of you. And please leave a like if you did. Please share your guys' thoughts with me. Do you guys think he'll escape? You guys, when I say that, do you guys think he'll be out in 2 years? To be honest, I don't think he will be released until 2027 or 2028. And if you're still having a great time with me until the very end, just say wild in the comment section. Simply write a wacky comment. That's how I know you succeeded because, to be honest, this whole thing is crazy.